Well, the highly anticipated New York Giants Cleveland Browns joint practice has finally come to a close after they just concluded their second day of joint practices. There are only 2 days of joint practices. We're going to be going over as much as we can with little time and going over these 2 days of joint practices and what we really learned from these two practices. What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 squad? Welcome back into another video. If you guys like what you see, make sure you guys hit that like button down below and subscribe, and shout out to all the channel members out there. Make sure you guys make yourselves known and use the custom emojis in the comment section below. With that being said, let's talk about the New York Giants and Browns training camp. We're going to be trying to go over as much as we can from these 2 days and kind of give you guys the highlights and takeaways of the practice. Now, first off, we have to talk about Daniel Jones. Now, there was a lot of talk. I don't know where exactly it stemmed from, but that there was a lot of talk that Daniel Jones was throwing interceptions left and right, and that he was having a bad joint practice. I don't know if it was coming from the Giants beat writers that don't like Daniel Jones, because there are a lot of them. Or I don't even know if it's coming from the Cleveland Browns beat writers, because they've been throwing some misinformation out there in these past couple of days regarding the Giants. We know that there's a rivalry that sparked up ever since that 2019 trade with OBJ. So there's obviously a lot of tension. There's a lot of rivalry. There's going to be misinformation thrown from either side. So I don't know what's going on there, but Daniel Jones is having a fantastic camp, and it's starting with Evan Ingram and Darius Slayton. Now, day one in particular, Daniel Jones was lighting it up. His favorite target was obviously Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton had one known drop that hit him right in the numbers. It was a shock to the whole crowd. But after that, he was pretty much lights out, caught everything. Darius Slayton was fantastic, and the chemistry with Daniel Jones continues to get better and look more consistent. And with Evan Ingram. Now, let's hold our horses on Evan Ingram. Every single year, he always has a really good training camp. Okay, he's a mismatch nightmare. Obviously, he's hard for linebackers and safeties to guard him up. So he's gonna have good practices. He's gonna have good good training camps. Evan Ingram's actually able to create separation and get some yards in between defenders, and they're utilizing that seam a lot better. And Evan Ingram really lit up the Cleveland Browns secondary with Daniel Jones throwing the ball. Now, a couple of injury updates for you guys. We've got Shane Lemieux, O'Shane Zimenez, Lorenzo Carter, and Saquon back at practice. Saquon is kind of steadily, gradually getting back to it. I don't believe he practiced with the Cleveland Browns, but I know he did Giants on Giants, drills and stuff like that. And I don't know if it's 7-on-7s with the Giants or they do 11-on-11s with just the Giants too. But Saquon was back at practice. Lemieux, Lorenzo, O'Shane, these guys were back at practice, and we're still missing out on Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, and Kyle Rudolph, the three players that we added to this team this year that all had prior injury concerns, especially from me when I was talking about potentially grabbing up these guys, or after we actually picked them up to the team, whether we drafted them or signed them. Those three guys I had a lot of concerns for as far as injury goes. Now, there was a part of me that did not want Kenny Golladay because of this exact reason, and everybody thought I was crazy and say, oh wow, well you just don't want anything nice for the Giants. This is why we can't have nice things, guys. People get hurt, and they get hurt. Some people get hurt more often than others, and it's no pattern. It's no coincidence with this pattern that Kenny Golladay, Toney, and Rudolph are hurt at the beginning of training camp, because those three guys have the biggest injury concerns on the team, and those three guys we just picked up. All right, so and those three guys we spent some good money on and spent a good draft pick on. So listen, I don't really know what to think of this. None of these injuries are major. Probably the most major injury is probably Kyle Rudolph. We may not see him in a couple of weeks, but I'm hoping they're just babying Kenny Golladay and he'll be back by week 1. And Kadarius Toney, nobody knows what the hell is going on with Kadarius Toney. Nobody's talking about it, so I'm confused on that one. So to wrap up day 1, the Browns pretty much won day 1. Although the Giants had a lot going for them in day 1, and Evan Ingram, Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Daniel Jones. Like, these guys were looking good. The defense kind of lacked up a little bit, and Baker Mayfield in the 11-on-11s on the move the ball section of training camp pretty much got a touchdown, threw a Hail Mary to Donovan Peoples-Jones. He came down with it, and it was a touchdown. Could have been a sack, but it was a touchdown, and pretty much the Browns won day one. Now, there was a lot of chatter. Jabril Peppers and Baker Mayfield barking up a storm on each other. So day two, the Giants were coming with that heat. The Browns were talking a lot of smack, and the Browns reporters and everybody was just bashing the Giants, and the Giants came with that fire today. And on day two, the Giants defense dominated. We had a bunch of guys shine in day two, including rookie Azeez Ojulari, who got himself a sack as well. So they're doing pretty well. The defense is looking strong. James Bradbury was locking up Donovan Peoples-Jones. We saw a video of that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Obviously, I don't expect our team to completely mollywop this Browns team. This Browns team made it to the playoffs, had a good playoff run, had a good regular season. All right, this Browns team is not the Browns team from a couple of years ago. This is a better team, and the Giants seem to be competing, as far as the starters seem to be competing with that. Now we got to talk about the big thing that happened in day two of training camp. I hate to be that guy, but it's pretty much going all over Twitter right now, and that's Sterling Shepard pretty much bobbing and weaving Troy Hill's punches. So I don't really know what the story is on this, and the beat writers totally messed up on this. Not their fault at all. They were not in a position to see the fight. They obviously, it was unexpected. It was spontaneous, so they had no reason to be looking at Sterling Shepard at the time it happened. I think they were interviewing Daniel Jones at the time, according to Art Stapleton. By the way, everybody go follow Art Stapleton. That guy's the best Giants media guy out there. He was the one that pretty much set the record straight that Daniel Jones only threw one interception the whole camp, not a million of them like everybody else is saying. So Arts, to go ahead and go ahead and follow your boy State Arpleton. All right, you know, he said that they were interviewing Daniel Jones at the time, and that's apparently when it went down. So by the time they interviewed Sterling Shepard, nobody knew about it. So obviously we didn't get any answers on it. We didn't get any questions on it because the beat writers and the interviewers weren't even aware of the situation. Obviously Sterling Shepard is not going to bring it up. I'm sure he was happy it was not brung up, but obviously we have no answers of that because it was never in question because they didn't see it. But apparently Troy Hill, I don't know who started it, but Troy Hill was the first one to try to lay the punches. I say attempt to lay the punches because Sterling Shepard was just bobbing and weaving. John Ross just came up in there when everybody was just watching. Blake Martinez is supposed to be a leader, just smiling and watching. What are you doing, bro? But John Ross came to save the day, grabbed Sterling Shepard up and brung him to the corner because it saved Troy Hill's life, of course. I mean, his life was in jeopardy, and John Ross just wanted to help have good sportsmanship and help out, his opponent by, sparing Troy Hill's life because Sterling Shepard was heated today. And a good thing he didn't throw any punches. Sterling Shepard kind of approached him. Troy Hill backed off, and that's where John Ross really came into play there. Listen, I'm not really worried about this at all. I know a lot of people are going to try to connect this to the Giants brawl that happened. Listen, when these joint practices happen, fights happen all the time. You're not in a game with 90,000 people around you, with millions of people watching. This is just you and the other guy, and you're practicing together, you're competing together. Things like this happen. And listen, although I wanted the Giants, I want more Giants to go up in there and help Sterling Shepard out and pretty much, kind of die down the situation. I mean, John Ross did step in there. So listen, at least they didn't go out on an all-out brawl like everybody would think because of that Giants brawl. They thought the Giants are undisciplined and Joe Judge lost them and they're gonna go fight the Cleveland Browns. That's obviously not what happened. So I'm just happy that they didn't go out there and start hitting each other. But Sterling Shepard, I don't really take any stock into it. He's obviously the longest tenured New York Giant on the team right now. He's he's a veteran, and he didn't throw any punches. I'm okay with it. it is what it is. It's competing. I'm very anxious to see what's going to happen in this preseason game. I probably will have a video up before the game talking a little bit more about what to expect and kind of the players to watch and things like that before this Cleveland Browns game. I'm going to try to be live for the Cleveland Browns game, so you guys make sure you tune in for that. All that being said, guys, make sure you guys like the video. If you liked it, hit that like button, please. Comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video.